Welcome back to another episode of the Red Man Group Patriarchs Edition. Unfortunately, this one isn't live. This one isn't in person. We're back to the electronic world. But the Patriarchs Convention, it's been wrapped up, and the men have come back together, gone back home, seen their families. Now they're taking action. So tonight we're going to be talking about the experiences that we had, what it is that we took away, and what it is we want to pass on to the other men. We got a solid panel. We can be expecting all of the attendees to hop in because everybody's been invited. This is an open roll call, so who knows who's going to show up later on in the night. Stay tuned. You'll see him hopping in. But for right now, we've got Anthony the Dream Johnson. We've got Donovan Sharp. And Big Texas Dom. Gentlemen, what's going on? What's new? Anthony, how you doing?
Doing pretty fucking good, man. I've been busy busting ass today on all things 21 convention related and a little bit RMG. I've been setting up more stuff in Poland, more stuff for the fall, lots of stuff like that. I got a visit today in person from Sam Botto, who is still in Orlando.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, Florida's just so badass you can't even leave. It's like gravity, man.
What'd you call it today? The capital of the Manosphere?
Yeah, Orlando is the official world capital of the Manosphere, especially with the grand return soon of Rollo Tomasi. He's moving back to Florida, he announced recently. Not surprised, I'm pretty badass. 21's badass. We have a lot of speakers around these parts. It is the greatest state. It's the greatest state in the union as well, as Tex knows.
So, I think I slide that in there.
Yep. So yeah, I've just been busting ass today, lots of stuff. But it was cool to see Sam Botto. He also had one of the attendees with him. One of the guys that gave a review. He actually he left Florida, but then he drove back down recently to hang out with Sam. Sam's nearby near Disney World, about 30 minutes away from me. So we got to see him today. It was pretty cool. Meeting
him at the Patriarch was one of the highlights, as he is such a unique individual and somebody who brings so much to the table that when you're sitting and speaking to that man, you are 100% in the moment.
Yeah, hell yeah. Other than that, man, just been wrapping up Patriarch. There's a lot of stuff to do after a convention ends. We're still organizing gear, inventory, shit like that, emailing attendees, setting stuff up for next year. A lot of big moves, as you know, as well behind the scenes. I'm thinking about shifting some event schedules around, and we'll make some announcements soon with that. It's looking pretty good. So that's what's going on.
That's good to hear, man. Donovan, how you doing?
I'm doing good, man. It's good to be with you guys tonight. I know there are probably some guys in the chat, but Donovan, you're not a father. Well, I fucked your mom, so that's that. I'm just going to listen. My experience I don't want to beat a dead horse here, but my experience at 21 Convention, Patriarch Edition, it was actually pretty cool. I got to moderate a couple of the Red Man Group lives, and I also got to do a workshop. And the workshop that I did, 7 things your wife loves about me. Listen, I fucked a lot of wives and girlfriends. Do I regret it? No, of course not. If I wasn't going to fuck them, somebody else was. But by the same token, I'm not going to be proud to hang my hat on contributing to another man's pain, right? So I guess what I did in terms of my workshop is I basically just taught guys, listen, how to keep your wives away from guys like me. I'm going to go ahead and talk about the one of the elephants in the room here. And like Hunter, Anthony, I think Rich Cooper probably has been, Rollo Tomasi, we're all catching heat, from the guys over at the Red Pill Reddit.
We're diving right into this.
Yeah. I'm not going to waste it because I'm not a father. I don't really like your kids struck out, like 25 guys. I can't talk about that because I'm just not. Yeah, perfect game and all that. But at this point, I'd like to say this to the Red Pill Redditors. Like, the reason why they're talking shit about us is because Red Pill Reddit at this point, it's nothing really at this point but MGTOWs who literally do nothing but complain about women. It's field reports that are 100% bullshit and basically wannabe Red Pill gangsters who think that they're authority on all things Red Pill. Now, the Red Pill Reddit used to matter, but they don't anymore, and they know that they don't. And like it used to be sort of this kind of like the central hub of the Red Pill. All of Rollo's posts used to be posted there, Illimitable Man, all those guys. It used to be a great Reddit that really taught guys how to navigate themselves in a feminist world, the sidebar, et cetera, et cetera. But in a very short time, it has devolved into a bunch of dudes who just complain. Another reason why they've talked shit is because this group of men, the 21 Convention guys, the Red Man Group guys, we've taken the Red Pill offline. Okay, the Red Pill community used to be all online, right? Like, yeah, there used to be PUA boot camps and all the rest of that, but there's never really been anything that covers every aspect of Red Pill awareness at one central event. The 21 Convention, guys, is essentially the live action version of what used to be the Red Pill Reddit. The only difference is we don't hide behind the shroud of anonymity. Yeah, some of us use pen names, right? Like myself, Rollo Tomasi, and so forth. But the world knows what we look like. The world knows what we sound like. The world knows what cities we live in. Guys who are speakers at 21 are something that Reddit guys are not, which is risk tolerant, okay? Red Pill Reddit guys are risk averse, and they wish they could be as risk tolerant as we are, but they either can't or they won't, and it pisses them off. I'll even say this, guys. They probably don't even realize why they're pissed. They have no idea why they think they don't like us, which is why they talk a bunch of shit. They're just nameless, faceless cowards who wish that they had our testicular fortitude, and it burns their asses up. And no, by the way, I'm not looking at the chat. So all you trolls can go off and fuck yourselves. But you're more than welcome later on to give me a call and give me your thoughts.
We will be opening up the chat line.
We will be opening up the phone lines. For once, be a fucking man. Of all these guys who talk shit, Hunter, Anthony, nobody's ever called us. Everybody wants to troll us on Twitter. Oh, no. You guys got big fucking balls online. Give us a call. At the end of the day, guys, I'll end it with this. At the end of the day, these guys are just giving us more shine. And the guys who don't attend the 21 convention because of the shit that these losers talk about, we don't want those guys anyway, right? We don't want them to come anyway, because if you take your cues from nameless, cowardless, faceless fucking losers, then there's nothing we can do for you. So it's best that you save your money and continue to be the pissed off males that you're just looking for someone to project your frustrations on. And it means literally nothing to us. What you guys say makes absolutely zero impact, except for the fact that we're sitting here talking about it, okay? Understand this. No matter what you say online, we're not stopping. The 21 is not stopping. We're going to continue to have conventions, and you guys are going to continue to be pissed off at us actually making a difference. So by all means, continue to make your little posts on Reddit. Keep talking shit about us on Twitter. All it means is that you're watching our videos and giving us more views. And for that, I say thank you. Thank you for being cowards. Thank you for putting money in our pockets. Thank you for doing exactly what females do when men of value get together and actually make a difference in other men's lives, which is bitch and moan online or remain nameless, faceless, anonymous egg accounts who think they matter, and a quarantine Reddit page that's a little more than an echo chamber for fucking incels.
I'd like to point out we're about 4 minutes into this, and holy fuck. So Tex, you're gonna have to follow that up. But before you do, I want to point something out. You know, when Donovan before we even came online, Donovan and I were talking about this, and the biggest thing that sticks out to me is just show me what right looks like. If what I'm doing is wrong and what we're building is wrong, show me right. Just beat us.
That's a trick question, Hunter. That's a trick question, Hunter. They don't want to do that. They can't do it.
Yeah, it's hard to do that.
Oh no, wait a minute. Actually, you know what? I think they can. Why don't you give us a call and tell us about it? How about that?
Show us what right is. I want that to be the first call. What does right look like if this is wrong?
Let's hear from Tex. In the meantime, I can tell you it's impossible to defeat the dream. So good luck.
Tex, what's new, man? How you doing?
The dream cannot be defeated.
I tell you what, I'm just listening to Donovan going, how do I follow that up? I had a great time in Orlando as always. Anytime I'm there, it's a nice state. It's sort of cool. But getting together with the men at 21, I wrote a blog post about it that was really from the heart. I mean, I had stories. These guys were talking a lot of stuff to me, and I was getting some good feedback from gentlemen, and really good success stories and things that were heartbreaking. And it was just one of those deals to where I had a super time, man. It was a great event.
I think Tex is now 6'7" instead of 6'4". It's like he grew 3 inches since the last time I saw him.
It's ridiculous. Every time he's getting taller. Like this dude didn't go through a growth spurt. He just keeps growing. He's a mutant. Now, Donovan, I'm going to throw you in the hot seat. So shifting to this, the main point of this is not just to give the experience you had. You had an awesome experience. Tex went to your workshop that you did, and he said it was insane. You know, and I know the last Redman group, Rollo said I had some standing room. You're like, I had the whole standing room too. You know, so we had the dick measuring of who had the best workshop and who attended the most. And I heard yours was absolutely. I didn't get to attend it. I think I was talking or doing something, but it was absolutely insane. So, what did you expect when you're going into this? You know, we have this vision. Not all of us, but there is a vision of, all right, what are the dads going to look like? The dads of the red pill. So, when you went in and you saw the men speaking to you, like physically, the way they carried themselves. What was your expectation, and then what was the reality?
You know, it's interesting, man. I don't think I expected much of anything. I have so much going on. I think I reserved my expectations for whatever it was. The interesting thing is when I got there, physically, the fathers looked exactly like the guys that we had at 21Con last October. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, Anthony and Tex, but you know, I don't think fathers have a certain look. Like, you can't look at that guy and say, okay, he's definitely a father. There are a lot of dudes out here running around looking like fuckboys with their hats turned to the side, got like 5 kids, right? So you can never really tell. And then you see, you know, the stately gentleman with the beard. Well, he must be the patriarch of 5 kids. No, that guy is a slut slayer, and he fucks bitches only in their 20s, right? You just never know.
The only thing I noticed on him was that the attendees of this event were older. Like physically more mature, I think.
Of course. Yeah.
Career-wise too. We noticed some guys were like super high level this year. We've had millionaires, entrepreneurs, doctors, surgeons, lawyers attend for a while. But there was like some ship captain in the Navy or some shit.
Yeah.
Like, he was retired.
That guy was retired. Obviously Navy, I was biased, so we connected. Yeah. But I mean, to your point, and to Donovan's point also, we have such a fantasy of, the dad bod, the world's...
Yes.
Guess what? These red pill aware men, they've already taken care of it. These men showing up are squared away, and the guys who weren't are working on it.
I heard that guy just retired recently, and before that, he was given like briefs to like the Joint Chiefs or some shit. This guy was like super high level.
No, he's a beast.
Yeah, he's like absolute. Like everyone I talked to was like, "Holy shit, this guy's attending!" Like,
no, the beauty of it, he's a SWO, which is surface warfare officer. So that's the kind of guy that I was working with as an engineer on ships. He's the guy kind of he was steering the ship. He was legit. I mean, and he was there in full force, and there were you had a few active duty guys that showed up, and I mean, they're squared away, man. They're getting this message and becoming better fathers. And a lot of them, what surprised me was that weren't fathers that were showing up that were ready for it. I want to start a family, but I want to do it right.
Yeah, fuck yeah.
Yeah, and by the way, squared away is a military term. Now, I was never in the military. Listen, I was raised in the military. I was never in the military, but squared away is definitely a military type term. Are you squared away? Yes, sir.
Shoulders back, eyes forward.
No, yes, there you go.
I thought the overall quality of the men that were there was unbelievable. I mean, I had so many good conversations. It wasn't even funny. And to get back to what Hunter said about Donovan and Steve's workshop, it was like freaking HBO comedy hour. I mean, it was. I'm telling you, I was laughing my ass off sitting in there listening to it, thinking, man, I wanted to chime in, but I didn't want to say anything because you guys are just on a roll, man. It's unbelievable.
Hey, we got Rollo just joined in.
I was going to say, speaking of the other man who had the standing room only, good timing. So welcome, Rollo. How you doing?
Yes, we can hear you, dude.
Okay, cool. I don't have my headphone on, so
that's cool. Are you driving a truck again?
No. I'm just at my home office, not my downtown office.
Oh well, I'm at my home studio. I'm not the
home
studio.
I'm at the away, Mike.
Yes.
Rollo, welcome. We're talking about our experience at the Patriarch convention and the interactions we had with the men there. You know, looking at the red pill aware fathers and comparing them to the red pill, the normal 21Con, where you've got a diverse crowd.
Yeah, I was just going to say, I just wanted to drop in here and let everybody know what kind of my take was on the whole thing. I just want to first off apologize that I wasn't able to be around and as available as I would have liked to have been. My mom's in the hospital right now. And so as literally the day that I got to the hotel, I got a call saying my mom had gone into the hospital and now she's at a rehab clinic right now. She's not an addict or anything. She's just like really close to her time. So I was kind of making decisions from my hotel room most of the convention. So if anybody thought I was a little bit preoccupied, that's the reason why. So I apologize for that first off. Second of all, I thought this was a really great opportunity right now for expanding the 21 convention's reach into sort of I don't want to say a different demographic because I think all guys sort of need the red pill, but
focused demographic.
The focus is a lot different. And it's I'm a father. I'm a husband. I have been since I started writing what I do. So I felt like I was qualified to be up there. I had a conversation. I tried to do the things a little bit differently, and people will see this when the videos are released. But I did a sit down talk with Pat Campbell. And we discussed multi-generational mentorship. We also discussed the importance of paternity. I try to stay a little bit on, nuts and bolts kind of topics. So I wanted to make sure that, it's easy to talk about paternity or mentorship, because that's really sort of the theme of this convention to begin with was mentorship, really, whether that's, you being a father or you being like the coach of your little league team or something like that. I wrote my third book with that in mind, to sort of show guys the direction that they can go for being a red pill parent and raising their kids as red pill kids, being aware of these kind of things, because there's nothing that is more threatening, I think, to the feminine imperative, and nothing more threatening really to, the zeitgeist that we live in right now, which is very anti-male, than to say, hey, you know what? I'm going to make sure that my kids and every kid I come into contact with is aware of the game that you're running on these guys, right? I mean, right. I want to make sure that not just my children, but any of their friends or whoever else. If I'm a little league coach, if I'm doing Pop Warner football, whatever, I want to make sure that in a world where there is nothing but very much blue pill beta men who are subservient to to the feminine imperative and subservient to a culture that does not have their best interests in mind, I want to make sure that I am an outstanding, example of what conventional masculinity is. And so that's really what I was trying to convey, both in my third book, but also in the talk that I had with Pat. And I thought that was pretty good. I was kind of hoping we could have done a little bit more Q&A, but we had so many people there, and it was such a, we had a lot of things to do, particularly with the workshops, which was the other one I wanted to talk about too. Is I think my highlight for the entire convention was doing the workshop with Elliot Holst when we were doing Religion in the Red Pill. And that was just sort of something that we had got together on a weekend, and we just sort of had about a 2-hour talk, and we decided that we wanted to float it out there and see if we could get a discussion. We just wanted a discussion group going where we could discuss issues of how the red pill and red pill awareness of intersexual dynamics and conventional masculinity, how all that can fit into a religious paradigm. And so we just opened, it was just really more of like a conversation. And we only got an hour. And just because of scheduling, I had to go on right after my workshop. And I was really kind of hoping it was going to be the other way around, because I knew it was going to go a lot longer. And we were in for about an hour, and I really felt kind of bad because everybody was getting into it, and they're like, "Oh man, we got to."
Dude, Rollo, I felt so bad. I had to go in and shut that down because you guys were going. You went a little like 10, 15 minutes over, and I had to shut it down. But I could tell everyone was. When I went in, the energy was like so positive. I felt like horrible. Shut it down.
We had room for like 20 people, and we had 27 people in the room. It was literally standing room only in that workshop. So I'm happy to say that Elliot and I will most likely be doing it again at the October 21 convention at the main event. So I'll make sure we slot at least 2 hours for that one.
Yeah, hell yeah.
That was really encouraging to me to see all those guys there wanting to, to add their voices to everything. Because again, like it's not, we're not there like. It's not like going to church or something like that. We're just there discussing things. We're having the discussions that you would not have in church because you're not allowed to have those conversations.
Well, Rollo, too, the guys don't know this, but those workshops were not recorded. So that's exclusively like something you got to do live, and it's only for the attendees.
Yep. And that's why I told the guys, I said, if you guys are going to want to bring notebooks into this, because there's not going to be any recording of this. And if you want to walk away with something, you're going to have to take some notes. Because that's what this was. It was a workshop, it was like a class. And again, it was just like guys sitting around in a round table forum kind of thing. And it was really, really good. I was actually surprised how good that was. And like I said, I was joking, but I really would have liked to have gone a little bit over, like maybe 2 hours on that, because that was what I was really sort of sinking my teeth into at this point.
When I look at how we lay these things out, though, even the red man groups, we have to stop it at some point. But when you look at the chat, it's always active. It's still like the men still want to keep going. It's one of those where you have to stop somewhere. Like tonight, we've got to stop somewhere. But these discussions are so needed. That people are fighting for it.
With the workshops too, that was like a beta test, like a trial run of the workshops. We never done those before.
That was an alpha test. Yeah.
This guy, blue pill.
I'm glad they went. I figured they would go really good, and I heard all of them. I saw a lot of them myself too, like here and there, and I'm really happy they went well. I think people for years have been asking us to do workshops like that. They were private, not recorded, just for the speakers, like real tight like that, 20, 30 guys. So fuck yeah.
You know, I didn't
verbal interaction, you get to know the man. You get to see, it's like one-on-one,
Yeah.
And I know that Steve Williams did one too, and I wish I had paid a little bit more attention to the other workshops that were going on at that time. But I don't know how well attended the other ones were, but I know mine was just like outstanding.
Ours was packed, man. Tex, I think you were there, and like it was like a square, minus one of the sides, and ours was packed. Like Steve and I did sort of a tag team thing.
I did that actually on purpose for the seating because I wanted you guys to feel like surrounded, like really
that was
engaged.
very cool, man. It was. I didn't know what to expect, but I had such a good time. It was a great time to interact with the guys one-on-one. I actually hope to do maybe a couple of workshops because I've already got 100 different ideas.
Yeah.
And you know what sucks that people won't realize this is I'm as much interested in what you guys are doing as the attendees. So like as the speaker, I'm like, no, I want to go watch him too. But like I got things I've got to go do. So I'm like, shit. So, you miss these opportunities. But I mean, it's amazing to see how engaged these guys are. It's not just sitting and listening. They want to speak with you. They want to get, hey, here, I've always been wondering about this. Could you tell me your perspective on this thing? And they get it from the Godfather, they get it from Donovan, the Sharp Reality remix of their issue. That's something you can't get anywhere else. Their version of it.
Great. That's good.
No, I can't wait to do one in October. I've already got it planned out what I want to do. I definitely wish we'd had more time to do more, but I tell you what, it was a great concept, and I think you proved that it worked. And
Fuck yeah.
I mean, if you want to do a longer, what are we doing? We're going for 4 days in October. Is it Thursday?
Yeah.
Friday, Sunday?
It's all 4 days. Yep.
Yeah.
And check this out. Since, Patriarch, we had just over 100 guys. We had like 104 or something check in. So Orlando is looking to be pretty big. I think it's ahead of 2018 sales right now, which is crazy.
Wow.
That had over 200 guys last year. Yeah, that was fucking huge. So I think we're going to have between like 230 and 300 at Orlando this year, which is a lot. And what that's going to allow us to do is run the workshops pretty much nonstop.
Yes.
Not Thursday morning maybe, but like starting Thursday afternoon, and then all day Friday, all day Saturday, all day Sunday. We'll run at least like 1 or 2 at a time, and then we'll keep like 100 guys in the conference room. Have the workshops going, so the opportunities are going to go through the roof if you want to do more of them.
That is fucking cool, man. So it's almost like they can leave one and go to the other, then go watch another guy's speech. That's going to be really cool.
It'll be nice to have that. It'll be nice to have that as something that's a little bit more formalized because, like, I joke with my wife. I said, as soon as I get on, in the hotel lobby, it's like a workshop for me because it's like around me.
Roll Tomasi problem.
Formalized, yeah. The last thing I wanted to just add on here was I thought that the Redman groups on the last day were really, really good. They're always really good when we can like get everybody together. I mean, it's always kind of difficult when we have like 7 or 8 guys on like the Redman group when we're doing it on YouTube. But when we have guys, like we got like 7 or 8 guys and we're all around a table and we can all see each other.
Yeah.
We can all, check out each other's expressions and we all know
it's easier to flow.
Yeah. The flow is it's like having a real conversation. So it goes much easier with more guys on that. And then I think the topics we were talking about, I don't know how deep you want to get into those today, but we are definitely right now in the manosphere. We are definitely at a crossroads here.
Yes.
And
and with that, actually, with us being at a crossroads, I do want to point out the lines are open. So 914-205-5356. The lines are open to ask questions and to say we're at a crossroads and people are voicing their opinion. So there's a lot going on right now. And
I'm grumpy as fuck tonight. And listen, I'm grumpy
he's
as fuck
ready
tonight.
He's ready. So the
you
lines
guys
are
got to
open.
get to the point.
914-205-5356. Call, air your grievance. We'll talk about it.
Rolo, what were you saying there? Finishing up?
Oh, no, I was just going to say that, we're at a crossroads right now. And I think that it's important to remember that, we're all, even the people who are attacking us right now need to understand that we're not doing this because, we have some sort of nefarious purpose behind it. We're doing it because we want to help guys live better lives. Right.
Yeah.
I mean, that was a whole reason why I got started in this. I've told this story a million times about how my brother-in-law ended up hanging himself and how that just sort of set me on a course to want to help guys. Sure, do I turn a buck off of my books? Yeah, but it's like I'm actually putting out my time for this because I really feel like it's worthwhile. And until somebody can come up to me and say, "Oh, we got a better thing over here. Come and check this out."
Yeah, shut the hell up.
Yeah,
exactly. That's how we started the episode, was show me what right looks like. If this is wrong, show me right. Outright the rational male. Write a better book.
I mean, the reality is
that's not gonna happen, dude.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. Like, they talk
other
shit,
stuff.
but that's it. That's where it ends.
The reality is there is other stuff we know of in the manosphere, broadly speaking, like this, right? RSD has summits. They have boot camps. You have the MRA conference. Oh, we got some feedback with that?
Sorry, go ahead.
Oh, yeah. So there's also the Men's Rights Conference. They have the ICIM or whatever the fuck it's called. So there's different conferences and shit that go on, but none of them, I've been to some of these and I've talked to people who've been to them, including speakers, some film guys I know, some, attendees and shit. And those events are like a drop in the bucket compared to what we do. We're killing it with podcasts, speeches, workshops, dinners, parties, going out, cigars. Like, our shit is so fucking on point. Nothing even comes close. And that's top. That's from start to finish. That's not just the organization, the structure. That's the speakers, the content, the ideas, the quality, the attendees, the venues. We were at like a 5-star fucking resort the other week. I mean, that shit was dope as fuck. Yeah. And it was also in the best state in the union. So it's like, I mean, it's hard to beat.
I was 2 nights in a row. 2 nights in a row. One night I was up with Ivan Throne until dawn. Dawn comes out, and me, him, and a bunch of attendees were like, "Oh shit, it's time to go to bed." And then 3 hours later, I was back up, and I gave a speech. That was when I gave my keynote speech. And then the next night, we're out there, we're hanging out, and then Dawn comes back up, and I'm just with like 10 guys, and they attended, and they're hanging out. And we're like just soaking in the environment, and
dude,
they're like, that is the difference. That's the thing that people don't see is the speakers give everything they can to these men.
Dude,
that's why we're there.
Do you think Owen Cook is hanging out till 6 in the morning with attendees at an RSD summit? Not a
spoiler
fucking
alert.
Chance.
No,
not a fucking chance, dude. They don't fucking care, man. Whatever he's done good. I think he's kind of not a fraud, but he's a weak leader and he hasn't done a lot. He could have done a lot more. He had a good opportunity and he threw it away. And I think that's what you see with RSD. Their events here are a mess. They're disorganized. And that's pretty consistent for anything from the POA sphere of the manosphere. It's always been this clusterfuck of people who don't care. They do it for a year or two or whatever, and it fades away. What we do keeps going and going and going and going. This
and it changes these men's lives. These men's lives are changed. The FOE men, all the guys that are talking, well, they're so pissed that, and this goes to Rolo's point on wanting it to go longer. The first one we did on Red Pill, Fatherhood, and Religion, they're like, that should not have ended. Why did you end that so soon? That it was great content, keep going. So they want that bad. But Tex, you had something.
My thing is that guys taking shots at us, and it's ridiculous because in one hand they're referring to us as all PUA, and I'm like, really? Where the hell did that come from? You obviously haven't researched enough about what we're doing to just label us pickup artists. I mean, give me a fucking break. Drives me nuts. At least I love when they're like, "Oh, Hunter,
you're just part of the PUA." I'm like, dude, I've been with my lady since high school.
Right, I got kids.
How am I? I'm the
patriarch. I got kids. I don't have time to go out and holler at pussy. You kidding me? Get out of here with that.
Pickup artist means pick up my girl and throw her on the bed. That's pickup, right? That's
Hey, so I have a question for you guys. So you guys have all attended in either 2017 and 2018 or 2018 only, but then Patriarchs, obviously. So how did Patriarch for you as a speaker compare from 2018, let's say, to Patriarch? Those are different events and and all that. I'm kind of curious with how that was for you guys.
I'll jump on it quick. As the man who delivered the keynote speech, the chief patriarch. I will say in 2017, I had no idea what to expect. I went in there because you and Rolo said, "Hey, let's do it." So I went shoulders back, let's go. Awesome, got the standing ovation. That was really cool. It was a great experience. 2018, same thing. I went in there more prepared. It was awesome. But this one was different. And I spoke with Tanner Guzzi a lot about this. This is the first time I felt like I was with my people. And each of us have our people in the sphere. There are the people that we relate to more because we're just in the same life situation.
Right.
And I was with the fathers. I can talk about fatherhood more than anybody. That's what I do. That's my thing for the past 4 years. So to be around a bunch of other fathers, that was really cool and 100% biased. Goldman wouldn't have fit in as well there. But when we go to Orlando, he'll get a lot longer or a lot better with the men that are in attendance that are looking to learn how to be confident with women and pick up chicks. And then I'm out of my element because that's not my thing. I'll find the dads. So for me to have a patriarch convention, I mean, dude, that was like the apex of my online experience and real world experience. That was amazing, man.
I think it's pretty cool. I think it's pretty cool that we have taken this offline. I think to me, that's the most important thing. The difference between the event in 17 and the event in 18. And listen, I took the event in 17 very seriously, but I found myself being just a little more, I don't want to say a little less careless, but I was I tried to steer guys in the direction, because I'm not a father. I tried to steer them in the direction of fatherhood. I still got guys asking me, hey, how can I be better with women? And I'm thinking to myself, okay, you're a father. No. How can I be better with my wife? And I'm not married, but I'm in a cohabitating long-term relationship, with Dev. And all I could do is offer advice in terms of how I keep, I guess, what they call the spark alive, how to keep her in line, et cetera, et cetera. But the advice that I gave those guys in terms of how to keep a woman in line, I take that much more seriously than how to pick up, Brittany the slut at the nightclub, or how to text, the two Tinder hoes that you swiped right on last weekend, and you hope their boyfriends aren't in town. Don't get me wrong. I think that there's definitely a time and a place for PUA pickup game, but and I'm not going to bag on the online community, right? Or I'm not going to bag on the PUA community, because what they teach guys is very valuable. We all want to learn how to sleep with women. That's the reason most of us found the red pill in the first place. But where the PUA community falls short is they don't tell you what to do the next morning, right? They can tell you what to do from point A to about point H, okay? So have the right text game, meet up with her, escalate, you fuck her. What happens when it's time to put your shoes on and go home? What happens if she texts you back and wants to spend more time with you? This is where we come in. We teach guys how to navigate through the treacherous waters of women who would use you for things other than sex. We teach you how to sort of sift through the real shit from the bullshit. We teach you how to keep women in line. We teach you how to live the red pill life. So I think that we've sort of taken the mantle of the PUA community with their boot camps and says, okay, they have their utility, they have their use. We're going to teach you about the rest of life. Yes, life is great when you have pussy, but when you're in a relationship of consequence with a woman who appears to be the real deal, I think that's when life can really take off. Do we need women? Of course not. But it'll be disingenuous for any of us to say that, hey, having a woman to share your life with elevates our lives. And I think that's what the 21 convention means to me.
Yeah, I want to give a quick shout out to Lion Sin, Fader, and Rule Zero Dad for the super chats and taking care of how we keep the lights on and keep doing what it is we do. These things, they don't pay for themselves. The conventions, the equipment, the gear, the staff, the security. Anthony, you're the one running all this. And I kind of want you to run with, following up what Donovan said about how the shift towards, bringing in a group that's not really represented. Fatherhood is bashed by everybody.
Yes.
And you're a very single man who made a Patriarchs convention. So we've got single. But think about it. I mean, we're running this on YouTube. We've got the super chats. Men are supporting this, and you're taking that. And it's not like, hey, I'm Scrooge McDuck. I'm swimming in my fucking gold coins. I hope it get demonetized because of that. Yeah. It's just like the first effort slipped out.
I look forward to
you're putting all back into the business. And fathers are changing, man. You're saving families. That was amazing.
Fuck yeah. I invest, like you mentioned, heavily into the business constantly. Like that's what I'm always doing. I'm so young. I don't see a purpose in accumulating a lot of personal wealth at this age. But the businesses, I want them to be as wealthy as possible, to do as much badass shit as possible. That's what I've been doing now for 13 years, constantly reinvesting in the business. As many events. Go ahead.
I was going to say, if you look at the event venue from October 2018 to this last time around, I mean, it was a much nicer hotel. It was a much larger room in terms of higher ceilings. Speaking the first time, it was a lot of fun in October. But speaking this time, I'm kind of like Hunter. I was in my element. I was really comfortable. But like what Donovan was just saying, the interesting side conversations. I really didn't think, you guys know I love talking about dominance and submission and all that kind of crap. It's my life. I get off my right. I didn't think I'd have a lot of that conversation, right? I said, those guys are all fathers. I had more freaking guys come up and talk to me about that kind of stuff and basically talk. No, really, it's like
fathers are freaky too, man.
They're like, hey, man.
They're like, my wife really wants me to get more into this kind of thing, and how do I go about this, that, and the other? And I'm like, okay, well, there's my workshop the next time, But it was eye opening how many guys are trying to keep it going with their wife and trying to keep it fresh, and understanding if they don't keep it fresh, it's not her responsibility to. And so she's going to be out the door one of these days if you're not fucking her hard like she wants to be. So it was okay. I mean, it was a group full of men all in the same kind of mindset. Perfect this time.
Yeah, fuck yeah. As for Hunter's points, yeah, I'm always reinvesting in the businessman. And I guess guys see me as like this young super Chad or something, which that's understandable given how I tweet and write and what I do. But my heart, I'm really excited to someday build a huge family. I want to have at least 4 to 6 kids, total patriarch style, Tanner Guzzi style, as I call it. Hunter, you got to catch him up, dude.
I'm saying, man, he's out patriarching me.
Yeah, fuck yeah. I mean,
Dude,
Steve Williams got a bunch of kids too.
Yeah. Steve's got like 17.
Yep. But in the meantime, I told Tanner, I was like, my heart is with you guys. Like, I love going out picking up chicks. I'm banging this new 22-year-old this week. Super fucking hot, super fucking dope. It's been fucking wild at Dream World here, I call it now. Instead of 21 Studios, I call it Dream World now. My room is Dreamland. I have a neon sign.
I saw the fucking sign.
It's like the Michael Jackson of the manosphere.
I'm gonna start tomorrow. I'm gonna be hanging up all my ropes. I have these pink and like red ropes and shit on the wall inside in the room. I'm just having time of my fucking life.
If you start calling your cock the dreamsicle, that's when you're over.
The dreamsicle.
Bring us back on topic. The lines are open. If anybody wants to call in, the phone number is in the chat. You can check it there if you want to call in. Text. To your point, you were talking about being the dominant, submissive man and not wanting to talk about that. So let's talk about Tanner Guzzi for a second. I was hoping he would hop in. He's probably doing something with his family because he's awesome. I told my family to go lay down. I'm doing something. So when I look at, what it is he's doing, he's the style guy. He's the guy that's all about, your appearance and all that. And that's not what he spoke about. When he went on the stage, he spoke about his family, the routines he has, how he manages an online life, as well as, his personal life with the family to follow his mission as well as lead his crew. So to hear that come from him, I think that shocked a lot of guys. And I think even the speakers, we get to realize that there's more to the man than just, his skill set. And I think to all fathers, maybe you're good at one thing, but you're also a family leader. And we've got to make sure we develop that side of it and express that side.
Man, there's something to be said about that.
Yeah, when he spoke, man, I expected fatherhood fashion, fatherhood style. And you know what he spoke about? Being a patriarch. The guy's a beast. He's a man. I think we all underestimate him because of the Mormon aspect, because he's a little more reserved and he talks about style. But he went up there and he was an absolute savage. And it was amazing to see.
No, I got to know more about him in that 1 hour or 45 minutes than I knew for the last 3 years. And he's a much deeper, more multidimensional guy than any of us give him credit for. And he was one of my favorite speeches the whole time.
Tanner is really, really smart, man. I remember listening because I'd never listened to him before. I remember listening to him, I think, on like a roundtable panel that we had at the 21 back in 18 in October. And by the way, I've liked both venues, by the way. Like, both of them are super cool. The fucking rooms were awesome. But I remember listening to Tanner speak. It's the first time I ever heard him talk, and he was very introspective, and he seemed to have as much red pill awareness and as much red pill game as I did, and he's a fucking father. And so I think that and here's the thing, guys. I'll also put it to you like this. Not to take anything away from what guys like Anthony have done and what I have done and single guys, but it's very easy to be Captain fucking Red Pill when you don't have any feelings involved, right? It's really easy to be Captain Red Pill and all bitches ain't shit when you're just fucking a bunch of bitches. It's another story when you've got some skin in the game. It's another story when the woman that you're with you actually give a shit about. It's a different story when you actually have children. So I would say, I would submit that guys who remain steadfast in their red pill beliefs, even though they are in long-term relationships of consequence with children, I think those guys are the true red. I think those guys are the true red pill alphas. You can't just kick her. You can't just kick her to the curb if she fucks up. Like, you got to stay in there with it.
I want to pause you and totally back you up on this, because Rollo harps on this a lot. That when guys get girlfriends in the red pill, no need to name names, but they fucking instantly go like they backslide, as Carl would call it, to like purple pill stuff.
Yep.
And it's a really good litmus test, because it's like, are your beliefs going to stay consistent when your hindbrain is this girl's draining your balls 47 times a day, or not? And that's the test. How deep do you believe it?
You know what's funny is, and you won't name names right now. You're saying you're not going to name names. Yet all of our names are being dragged through the fucking mud right now.
Yeah, fuck those guys. But
we're the ones saying we're gonna be respectful. And like, literally, if you go on Twitter, right, I'm sure if I clicked on Twitter, Jack Murphy. Mean, they've got memes about all of us right now.
I didn't say that I was going to be respectful. Like, take me out of
I'm just saying. I'll put Anthony.
I'm not going to get the high road. Fuck, dude, fuck the high road, man. Hey, listen, if you got a problem, give me a call.
Phone lines are open.
Phone lines are wide open. Phone lines are wide open. Oh, we actually got 2 callers on the line. So whenever you guys want to get to those, let me know.
All right, Anthony, finish your point, and then we'll hop on that.
Yeah, I was just backing up Donovan. He's hitting the nail on the head. Rolla harps on this pretty consistently, and he deserves credit on it because I really believe that when these guys get a girlfriend or whatever, and it's long term, it's not just a few weeks or a few months. It's 6 months. It's a year. It's more. That's a test. What do they believe? How deep does it go? And when a girl gets in your head by getting in your life, and she's got the back of your hindbrain, the attention of it, what do? That's the fucking test. And if you can stay true to what you believe, then you pass. And if you start wavering and modifying your shit and curtailing it just a little bit and then a lot of it, that's a problem. So backsliding, I think, is what Carl would call it. That's what it is. Don't do that because it's stupid. And life is a lot more important than that, being red pill. Reality is absolute and will punish the fuck out of you if you betray it.
To Donovan's point, before he takes that first call, I understand. I have like wicked cotton mouth, and this goes back to being a patriarch. I came from a little league game to where I was huffing all the dust from the field. So I'm pounding water, trying to get my voice back and get things going. But if I'm stumbling, it's one of those things where when you're a dad, you do all you can do, and then you still make it work. So I went from little league game to this, and that's just what you do as a leader. So Donovan, let's take that first call, man.
All right, 914-205-5356 is the number to call if you want to get on the line. 701 is going to be first, 702 is going to be next. Area code 701, you're on live with the Red Man Group Patriarchs. Go ahead.
Hey guys, much love from North Dakota.
Oh, wow. So you're one of the 13 people who live in North Dakota.
Fargo.
Yes, sir. I have a very unique question for you guys.
All right.
And this is because I am 20 years old. And I found red pill around the ages of 15 or 16. So I basically just came out of the high school scene. And now I have a little sister who is 14 years old. And I would like to know what I can do as an older brother to stop her from becoming a high school whore.
Oh my God.
Now, you would be asking this question if you are not already seeing signs of her being a high school whore. So if you would so eloquently put it, what are some of the signs that your sister is showing of becoming this high school whore?
As of right now, she's good. Like, she's not in high school yet. She's on a pretty good path, but she's a little princess. I mean, she's an athlete, and she's popular already. And she's going to go into high school, and I'm nervous about her, like, meeting other guys that were like me in high school.
Okay.
Like, she just
I can hit this, man. I have 2 sisters. If I need to hop on this.
Good, man.
Yeah, so I'm going to start off, man. Appreciate the call and the question. It's really good. I've been through, I have 2 sisters myself, one older, one younger. So I can speak pretty good to it. When I was a little bit younger than you, I was like 18, 19. My older sister was getting in some trouble at school, and I was really worried about it. It was really fucking me up. And I talked to my best friend's dad about it. And he ended up dying a few years later. But at that moment, he gave me some of the best advice I'd ever gotten. He said that, the family I came from is not the family I was going to live with the rest of my life, or the family I was going to build. And that even at a young age, I really needed to start focusing on the family that I'd one day have. I still don't have that family. I'm 30, but I think in my 30s, we're going to see that start. So he was the first person ever really, in a very firm, but a very positive way, very masculine way, he encouraged me to start thinking about my future, specifically the family that I was going to build. Beyond that, you need to be the best red pill brother you can be. You need to lead by example. You are not her father, but you are an older brother. You represent masculinity in her life and an example of it. So the best thing you can do is be the best. It sounds very simple, but it's a little bit more complex than that. But just set a good example. Be the best brother you can by living a red pill life, by not being a weak bitch, having a spine, doing badass stuff, pursuing a badass life. Maybe that means college. Maybe it doesn't. Maybe that means starting a business. Maybe that means traveling. Maybe that means having strong relationships with girls that she sees around, girlfriends that are your age, that are 6 years older than her or whatever. And she's going to watch closely, whether she realizes it or not, how you act and how you behave with those women. And that is setting another example for her. The same way, if you both had a father around with your mother, that example is set for her too. So your example is important to her, and she looks up to you more than you realize, probably.
Yeah, this is interesting. By the way, shout out to Ivan Throne and Bobby Dino, who are now in the house. I also have 2 sisters. And I was very protective. Dev, keep it down, please. I was very protective of both of my sisters all through high school. The year I went to college, I'll never forget this as long as I live. The year I went off to college, 3 months in, my mom gives me a call. She's like, Donovan, we got an emergency. You got to come home. I said, what, am I coming home from school? She's like, no, I need you to do me a favor, right? I took my sister to get her first abortion, right? Like everything was good until I left. Okay. You're 20 years old. Your sister is 14. You're out of high school. She's entering high school. I'm going to keep it 100 and let you know that because your little sister is a princess, because she's an athlete, she's going to get attention and she's going to get dick, dude. The only thing you can really do, just like Anthony said, is try to be the example. If your goal is to try to keep her a virgin through high school, I'm letting you know in 2019, bro, that ain't happening. It's not happening. There's nothing, even if you're at the same high school as she is, even if you guys were twin brother and twin sister, if your sister wants to fuck, she gonna fuck. Like, that's how this is. So what you need to do is attempt to at least try to mitigate the damage. Let her know, listen, you don't want to end up like these hoes out here, right? And you don't be proactive, sort of be reactive, because if you come at her and be like, sister, don't be a slut, you're going to end up, childless and, a cat lady at 38 years old. Dude, she's not trying to hear that. She's young and hot. Guys want to fuck her. What's the harm in that? But what you need to do is that when she comes to you seeking advice, that's when you need to give it to her. I would love to tell you to be proactive. Maybe you can put a word in here or there, but if you try to actively stop your sister from being a slut, it's going to have the same effect as when your mom and dad try to stop her from dating a bad boy high school football player. All do is draw her closer to them. That's it.
To tag on Donovan's point here, yeah, there's no way that like trying to be a huge boss of her life is going to work. If you don't want her to do certain negative behaviors that you view as negative that we're probably going to agree with, the only way you can do that effectively is to persuade her to do that. And the way to do that is to be alpha as fuck, that older brother that she listens to and she wants to listen to. You have to game her in a platonic, kind of familial kind of way. You have to be that red pill badass. Go get a girlfriend or have some girls you're banging or whatever the fuck the case is. But just make sure she sees you interact positively with women in a way that's very masculine and very probably abnormal for her to see today. Most of the guys she goes to school with are super young. They're not very masculine. A lot of them are super fucking beta. So if you're acting in a way that's, relatively alpha and strong, she'll probably listen to you. She'll probably want to listen to you because she's so sick of hearing soy boy bullshit at her high school growing up.
You have to earn her respect. If she doesn't respect you, she's not going to respect what you
100%. Yep. And to wrap this one up, I think the gentleman covered it very well. As a father of a daughter, these are things I think about. So I'll leave you with this. It's real quick. You don't know what you don't know. You need to teach your sister to know she needs to take care of herself and respect herself and make sure that she properly vets the men she brings into her life. That goes through you. If your father is not going to set the example, it comes down to you. You say you want to take care of her, just educate her. Like, hey, I get that a lot of your friends are going to want you to do this, and this because that's what they're doing. Don't be a hoe. Okay? It's not going to help you down the line. Now, before we jump to the next call, Bobby, welcome, man. You want to talk about your Patriarchs experience?
Bobby D.
You're muted.
You can unmute him, Hunter.
I really hope he's not dogging.
Hunter, he was, but he stopped now.
Oh, he stopped. Nope, we can't hear you.
Nope. Hunter, you can unmute him. I think you have the capability to do that.
Okay. You guys.
There's a little arrow over his face, and if you click it down, it'll show like a mute thing. Bobby, if you can hear us, your mic is muted, but Hunter's going to try to unmute you. You can unmute yourself, too.
All right. Donovan, you want to take the next call, and I'll work on unmuting these guys?
Absolutely. Let's go to Frank. Pine Frank, you're on the line, man. What's going on, brother?
Hi, gentlemen. I just wanted to call in. I saw you were doing a recap on the Patriarchs convention. I thought it was absolutely awesome. Me, personally, I don't have kids. I really don't want kids, but I got a lot out of it. Anthony, as always, you put on a tremendously good show. The venue was killer. Hunter, it was good to see you again. It was good to see Tex. It was good to see Donovan. It was good to meet Bobby, and it's good to see Ivan. This is my sign out. Gentlemen, you take it easy, and I'll see you at the next 21 event.
All right.
Yeah, Frank. Fuck yeah.
And Frank in the house, security guy.
Hey, I think Bobby's good to go.
Yep, he's back up.
I can see the little green dots. I think I'm all right.
Yep.
Good.
Excellent.
Welcome, Mr. Dino.
Hey, thank you guys. I appreciate being here. First time doing it this way, and yeah, thanks for having me. It's an honor.
So let's talk about your Patriarch review. You know, you weren't slotted to be a speaker and you found yourself on the stage, man. So let's talk not only about that, but also about the interactions you had with the men, you know, what it is that you experienced and what do you see coming from this?
Well, you know, it was interesting. Anthony was gracious enough to have me come down as a guest to kind of get a feel for what the convention was about. Like you said, I wasn't slated to speak, and but you know, I'm kind of one of those guys that always has something prepared or always got something in my back pocket. I had a speech that I was actually lining up for my nonprofit, but figured it would work very well with what we were talking about at the convention. Shot it, people liked it, and I'm happy. The guys that I met were sincere. They were coming from the heart. There weren't any fakers there. All those guys were there to learn and to make connections. We did make connections. You know, it was kind of cool that after the convention, we'd go down by the pool and hang out and talk with each other, you know, about this or that. And I could see that people were coming together and learning from each other. And I thought that was incredible. It was very, very awesome.
Yeah, Bobby, it was good meeting you, man. I just wanted you down as like a VIP, you know, guest to check out the event before you spoke in the fall. Yeah, it worked out and you spoke. You had a dude. You said your talk went well, dude. You had attendees in tears. Like
I was one of them, man. I attended his speech. I think that's why I missed Donovan's. I was like, I want to check this out. I want to see what it's all about.
Great. I thought we were boys, man.
I had to break up.
Sorry, Donovan.
Oh, no, that's all good, man. Listen, I got the first time I met Bobby, he like sits next to me. All right, Bobby Dino. Good to meet you.
Yeah,
How was that?
and Donovan, I got to admit, I was really looking forward to meeting you too. So it kind of worked out. I was invited relatively last minute to sit in rather with that red group, and yeah, it was very fortuitous that I just sat right next to you.
It was very cool in your story, like just what you said. I mean, you sat to my left. I remember being captivated by what you were talking about. It was amazing that you were just so open about it. So that was very, very good.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that.
Good stuff. We don't have any callers on the line as of yet. So Ivan, I don't know. Is Ivan gonna talk?
Yeah, I'm talking to him on a private app. Let me get him on.
Okay, very good. Yeah, so Ivan's gonna give his take, his review on the 21 convention, Patriarchs Edition. Let me actually ask you this question, Bobby. For those who are watching right now who weren't at the convention, just give us the Reader's Digest version on what your speech was about individually, and then we'll go to Ivan.
Well, my speech individually was about the epidemic that we have with fatherless children and with a society. We talk about soft men or beta men growing up. If we're going to get real about it, it's just misdirected, misguided men that haven't really either taken on or chose to follow a better way or even shown a better way. And so it was more geared towards what can we do as a society. We already recognize the problem. Let's see if we can do something to fix it. And Ivan's here. So let's get
there. He is, Ivan.
Before Moscow steals him.
Yeah. Somebody needs to unmute Ivan. Unmute. Hang on.
I didn't know I could do it myself either.
Yeah, Hunter should be able to do it. Hunter, can you do it?
I'm clicking the button, man.
Okay.
No, there's a arrow, not the. Maybe this will. No, it's not gonna do it.
Yeah, I think only the guy who starts the. I think Hunter's the only guy that can do it.
Do you see the pop-up menu, Hunter? The little arrow on his face.
And he's on the phone. I don't know how to tell him to do it on the phone.
Yeah, shit.
He said he can't unmute.
That's okay. There are worse things, right? Like feminists.
Yes, sir.
Well, let me. Oh, wait. Well, I thought for a second Ivan was unmuted. All right, Hunter. So let's go to the I guess while we're trying to get the Ivan thing going on here. So I think what we were going to talk about is what's next for fathers.
Exactly. That's what I wanted to segue to is, all right, we had this meeting, we had this convention, we had these men come together. Now what? What are we expecting these patriarchs to go home and do? You know, what are the steps they should be taking? And for the men who didn't attend, how do we help those men out? How do we get those men to experience the joys of what's going to happen when they go out and into the world, back to their lives, and actually do something. And I unmuted Ivan. I figured it out.
Yeah, there we go.
Oh, there he is. Tell him to get
Ivan,
All
you're
right,
good.
gentlemen.
Yes.
I'm just testing this. Are you able to hear me?
Yes, yes.
Oh, good. If somebody can hear me, give me a thumbs up. All right, perfect. So my understanding is that everybody is talking a bit about the 21 convention that we had down in Orlando. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Let me see if I can get this a bit stable here. All right. So a couple of thoughts. The thing that really struck me the most when it came to 21 convention, Patriarch Edition out there, was, I was expecting, I think, something similar to the previous 21 convention down in Orlando. You always fight the last war. You think your past experiences of what's going to be there, and very, very different. Blown away by the guys were not there just so much, meaning all of the attendees, not just for experience or wisdom or insight into leveling up as a man. They were also looking at something very, very important and distinctly different. And that is, how do I be a father? How do I be a husband? How do I be a patriarch? That's entirely different from being a man. Now, generations ago, being a man was not something that men had trouble understanding, right? That was what we did. We were men. We built civilization. We fought wars. We created things. We flourished societies. And then today, the men spend all their time on Snapchat or whatever the hell it is they do these days. There's not that manly basis for things. So at the normal 21 convention, guys are very focused on that. What are the fundamentals? What are the groundwork? So the Patriarch event in Orlando was an entirely different breed. We're talking here about guys leveling up and doing the most important thing that a man can do. Not just be, but do. Raise your families. Be a patriarch. Establish your line. The history, the knowledge, all of that. And these are guys that are absolutely a cut above. They're not just looking at how to be a man, they're looking at the most powerful way that a man can ever express himself. Now, what a wonderful thing to be a part of. And for me, it was just such an incredible privilege to be around men doing that, around all of you guys. And it's unlike anything else.
Good.
That's my 2 cents.
Fuck yeah, Ivan.
I think it's fair to say that getting Ivan thrown on the Red Man Group live is pretty fucking awesome. I think that's a consensus we can all agree upon.
True that.
Hey, so we were going to go next with what's next for these guys?
Where are we headed? I mean, it comes down to action. When I gave my speech, I finished it with my closing speech was on exactly that. And you followed up very well with the same thing, Anthony, which was you attended, but that wasn't the end goal. The end goal was not to attend this thing and then to say, hey, I attended, 21 Con Patriarchs. No, it's to go back and light that fire and, inspire others. And Rolo touched on this when he talked about the ways that you come in contact with other children. You come in through coaching Little League, coaching football, coaching other things. You have an opportunity to light their little torches and spread that little fire amongst those little men, because they are future men. That's what they are.
Yeah, this is something consistent across all the speakers, and I love that, is you guys don't want passive attendees. You want active attendees who are up till 5 a.m, talking with you, asking questions, engaging. And then after the fact, too, they're following up on what they learned. They're not just passively soaking it in, rah, 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 positive pep rally shit, and then walking away, and then nothing gets done. That's fucking stupid. These guys, I'd say 90 to 95% of the guys we have, almost 100%, are very active-minded. They're very active in their life. They want to get better, and they're fucking motivated. And they actually do shit, and they fucking listen, and they apply, and they test. And so they get stuff done. So I love that. And that's exactly what these guys should do. Every convention, whether Patriarch or the regular 21 too.
I like the fact that, just to piggyback off of what Anthony said, is that you can't be a 21 convention speaker if you ain't out here living this life, man. Listen, we got a lot of guys online who do what we do and talk about what we talk about, but they ain't really about living that life, right? Like you got a guy who says, yeah, I just added 15 notches this month and life is great. But then he lets slip that he's a forklift operator who works 12 to 15 hours a day. So if you're a forklift operator, how are you adding 15 bitches to your roster every month, right? Like you got Guys,
hey man, Donovan, I like big butts and I cannot lie. I need a forklift, bro.
Yeah.
I like the 21 guys is because we're all really about that life. We're all really living the life. Just like Bobby said, ain't nobody fake out there, man. Like we're all really living that life. And when you know you're living that life, I think that's where guys can sort of have common ground. I think that's where guys can identify with one another.
You know, and to add on to that, and this is one of the points that really pisses me off about what's going on in the sphere, if you will. You guys have met me and you've met my wife. There are people on there who are like, it's all fake. None of it's real. You have met me. We have broken that bond. A lot of the men who talk a lot of shit, they'll follow it up with, I don't need to prove who I am. No, you do. You need to show up. In the flesh is where it matters. Show me. Meet me. Well, let's go meet up over here. It doesn't have to be 21 Con. I live in Rhode Island. Hit me up. That's where it's going to happen. Let's have the discussion in Florida.
What they hate, though, is most of them are betas and they're fucking bullshitters, so they're conflict avoidant. Meeting you is a confrontation and a potential conflict.
Oh, they're allergic to confrontation.
Yeah, they hate that. So that's why they don't show up.
Yeah, not only they don't show up, not only because they're allergic to confrontation, it's because they know they'll be found out. Listen, man, you can't. I don't know. Listen, I'm going to toot our horn. You can't do what we do if you're not living the life. And there are a lot of guys who talk a lot of shit. We got a lot of big name guys. I'm not going to name names.
I thought you weren't taking the high road.
Yeah, well, listen, I'm cool with a lot of these guys. We got a lot of guys that I'm cool with that are big names in the sphere, but they don't want to really show up. They don't want to really. And part of the reason why they throw shade at us is because they can't come to 21 or they won't. And there are a lot of good reasons why guys stay anonymous. I totally understand that. You don't want to get doxxed. You don't want to get it. You don't want to get down with any of that stuff. But what it really comes down to is that if you're not willing to, or if you can't do what we do, throwing arrows at us just makes you look bad, right? Like Hunter says, man, well, I'm an alpha. I don't have to prove anything. Yeah, you kind of fucking do. Because if I don't see receipts, if I don't get the impression that you're not out here living this life, then why should I listen to you? Right? A lot of guys get on me. Oh, you show pictures of Devin and all these bitches you fuck. Yeah. Part of it is to scratch my own fucking back. I like who I am. I'm a self-made man and I'm fucking proud. The other reason I constantly show receipts is so that you guys know I'm not full of shit. Anybody can talk shit and say, oh, I fucked this.
Wait. Did you just say show receipts?
Yeah. Yes.
I've got to give a quick shout out to Phil Foster. You're talking about the forklift operator working 15-hour days. How you're going to do this and smash, raise your notch count. That dude is insane. He'll work 16-hour days, but I mean, he's living the life. So there definitely are men living the life, but here's a fun fact, and here's a solid point. He showed up to a 21 Con.
Yep.
I've met him and his wife. Phil is a beast of a man. He's a man who showed up and put his money where his mouth was, and hey, shook your hand, looked you in the eye, and you could see this dude has it going on.
I got his fucking hat 10 feet from me right now.
You got to be wearing it, man.
I have so many hats, dude. It's crazy. Like, you have no idea. Hey, I wanted to say too, guys,
we've got about 15, maybe 20 minutes left until we're going to shut this one down. So the lines are open. Anybody that's watching this, we've got 96 watching right now. Anyone that has something that needs to be aired, you want to get the take on it of the Patriarchs, now is the opportunity to do that.
Well, I got something to drop here. Oh, go ahead, Tex.
No, go ahead, Anthony. Your show.
Oh, yeah. So I think it's Hunter's show tonight. But I was going to say is that we are so. At the conclusion of the Patriarch Convention, the first ever Patriarch Edition of 21 Con, I wanted to do another one, obviously, and everyone was super amped about that. But doing it 1 year from now is kind of tough because I wanted to do the 22 convention in the spring of 2020. So I'm like, fuck, what am I going to do? I honestly couldn't figure it out on the fly. Brain was fried, whatever. But in the past couple of weeks since the convention ended, I figured out how to do that. So I want to make it official. Tickets are not on sale yet to the public, but to the alumni, there will be like tomorrow. We are doing a Patriarch convention next year in Orlando about the same time. Spring 2020, there will be the second edition of the Patriarch Edition of 21 Con. It'll be expanded to 4 days instead of 3. So it'll be a full 21 Con experience, fatherhood, patriarch focus. And I have tapped, and he has accepted, Tanner Guzzi as the keynote speaker for the event. Oh. We're giving Hunter Drew the boot to the curb. Adios, motherfucker.
That kid, that man's out reproduced me. His kids, he's got too many of them.
Yep. Yeah, but I'm excited to have him be the keynote. I know that you and him had talked privately about the Patriarch, or not a Patriarch, but like a fatherhood, family-focused 21 Con or some sort of event. So I know he was instrumental in kind of getting that over to me, and I'm happy to have him do it. It's going to be fucking awesome. It'll be even bigger and better than the first one. I'm expecting we'll have a lot more attendees. We had over 100 this time. I'm guessing we'll have 150 to 200 next time. So fuck yeah, more patriarchy.
Hey, my only point was all this stuff, and Anthony, I cannot wait for what's to come. I'm blown away. The reason why everybody, we're out here showing our faces and we're talking and we get up live and we speak and we meet with men in the hallways and by swimming pools and everywhere else, because we're fucking real. We're authentic. Donna was talking about that earlier. I mean, we are fucking living this life. We have gone through some fucking ups and downs, and we're not afraid to talk about them. And, we don't hide behind a keyboard. So we're out there, like I said, we all have our own risk factors and all this, that, and the other. But at the end of the day, I mean, we believe in what we're doing, and we're out there for a reason. And we're going to continue to fucking do it because we are, listen, I ain't going to toot my horn. The other men on this panel are helping other men. And I see it all the time. And, I want that to never stop. So.
Good stuff.
Ivan wants in whenever we can get him in.
All right. Let's get Ivan in. I think he can control his own mute. I did not mute him.
Okay. I just told him.
Nope, he's
still muted.
Okay, you guys hear me all right?
Yes.
Okay, a couple of things. So, 2 things I wanted to mention here. Let me get this a little bit stable. There we go. So, the first has to do with where do men go from here following the 21 Convention Patriarch Edition? Where do they do? And the second piece is a couple of comments about haters. Now, the first thing, think about how fundamentally different what men have to do is when they're coming from the 21 Convention Patriarch Edition. Now, your regular 21 Convention, okay, men are focused mostly on self-improvement. How do I learn game? How do I get in shape? How do I interact with people? How do I build myself as a man? That's all about that internal work. Now, with 21 Con PE, with the Patriarch Edition, we're looking at something much, much more serious. We're looking at that man who's taking what he's learned, he's taking that knowledge and taking that power and taking that active conscious intelligence and making things happen. And he's changing his family. He's changing his marriage. He's changing his entire position in life. That's an order of magnitude far beyond anything about eating right, lifting weights, learning game, all of those things that are part of an individual's self-development. We're not talking about him implementing those in the world where mistakes have consequences, where results and successes bring consequences. This is a leveling up in its real world. Now here is where the haters come in. Oh boy, do people hate it when you are being successful. That's something that they're afraid to do. I'm going to tell you 3 things about the hate mob. And I'm dealing with that sudden flow of hate coming out of nowhere, and most of it is entirely stupid. But if you have that moment of concern, as Vox Day has said in his book, Social Justice Warriors Always Lie. 3 R's, remember it. 1, remain calm. 2, realize it's happening. And 3, remember, no one cares. Okay? The internet, it's the internet. Somebody who wants to make stupid cuck jokes, that doesn't change my real world. That doesn't take me out of the restaurant and the truck I'm in. Okay? Somebody's going to call you stupid little names and they're going to be a brat. That doesn't pull you out of bed with a beautiful woman. That doesn't take money out of your bank account. That doesn't end the conversations or the relationships you have with your children. How incredibly sad that kind of attack, because all these people do. They're not even effective with that. They can't even create damage and trauma in the real world. All they can do is type. And that's what you do. Bye.
Yeah,
that kind of stuff doesn't matter. Remember that.
Yeah, Ivan should just drop the mic. I'm 1 for 3. I cannot remain calm. That's one thing that I needed, and that's what I like about the guys that do this. We don't portray ourselves as these, I'm 100% alpha, 100% red pill, 100% of the time. I don't make no mistakes. My woman is all the time because I am the sergeant, sir. Oh, we have flaws, we have weaknesses. I got a temper problem. I'm a little emotionally insecure. I'm a little hot-headed. How it goes. Just a little bit. But then a guy like Ivan, who is wise beyond anyone's, imagination, when he speaks, it's like he's talking through you. He makes these good points. That's what makes the Red Man Group great, right? Is that we all sort of have this checks and balances with one another without actually having to proactively seek it. Nobody's ever said to me, Donovan, calm down, but there is Ivan. Number one, remain calm. Without actually having to proactively seek it. Nobody's ever said to me, Donovan, calm down, but there is Ivan. Number one, Steve is in the house. Hey, Steve, turn down my proactively seek it.
I'm sorry.
Nobody's ever said to me, Donovan, calm down, but there is. That was the remix.
Yeah, I say we make the Red Pill great again with Steve the Dean Williams.
Yeah.
Steve the Dean.
Steve, you got the floor, man. Donovan had a great, rant going, but you know what? Nobody cares.
Go ahead,
Steve, you got the floor.
Hey, what's
How
going
was the Patriarchs, man? How was your experience of the Patriarchs? It's good to see you. Happy to have you on. But
wait. I'm sorry. I'm shutting this down. I'm sorry. I was looking at okay, there we go. I'm sorry, guys. Hey, it was fucking awesome. It was like you're a little kid in a candy store and you see nothing but real ass men. And as always, thanks to Anthony for allowing me to be a part of this great thing and to be able to meet such great men and to bond with them and to spend time with them and to laugh and the great Hunter, all y'all motherfuckers. I mean, it was on fucking point. And you can't beat it with a stick, guys. You gotta be there. You just don't get the feeling that you get when you're around real ass motherfucking men. And it was, man, hands down the best motherfucking thing that I've ever been to, man.
As someone who is entirely biased, I completely agree.
I'm gonna take that quote and put it in a big image. It's gonna have like olive branches and shit. It's gonna be dope. The best motherfucking thing ever. Fuck yeah, man.
Put that in quotes.
Yeah. Steve, love having you out, man. It was awesome, man. Fuck yeah.
I appreciate it, brother. I appreciate you. I appreciate all you guys. It was just, guys, if you didn't get a chance to go, y'all got to get your asses either to Poland or get your asses to Orlando, because I'm telling you, it is nothing like you've ever seen before. It is just being able to rub elbows and really sit back and talk to men and feel the passion and the drive that they have to want to get you guys to be better men. I just love it, man, and I just appreciate all you. I mean, it's like I got a new family now. You know what I mean? I love these motherfuckers. Excuse my language, but these
tribe. Good tribe.
I love.
We all fucked mothers at one point.
Best part of having Steve in the house is that now you got two fucking Texans there. Okay.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
I'm just saying, greatest day of the
Hey,
right there.
Speaking of Steve and Bobby, this is a question I have for Steve and Bobby. So Steve and Bobby, both of you were brand new to 21Con in terms of actually attending it, speaking at it, doing workshops and all that. How did it meet your expectations going in based on like what you were thinking about it, based on what you'd heard and all that?
You want me to go first, Steve?
Hey, go ahead, Bobby. You got it first, brother.
Okay. Thank you, man. Hey, first of all, I want to say this is how real Steve is. When you're talking about meeting real people, all right, Steve had a car rented out. He didn't have to do this. Okay. First of all, I would not expect this of anyone. But, hanging out, it's like, hey, man, you need to ride over to, there's a little super secret party that we were doing, right? Not so secret. We posted pictures, but gave me a ride over there, gave me a ride over to the airport, talking. Like, that was some real motherfucker type shit right there. So like I was like, Steve's a good dude, man. And as far as my expectations go of the event, to say it exceeded them wouldn't really do it justice either. You just heard Steve talking about it, and he's absolutely correct. It's a type of place where you need to experience for yourself, or you just won't really get a grasp on what's going on there. People making connections, people sharing and having ideas. I saw people like starting little things, that I mean, may have been businesses, may have been whatever. But the point is that people were coming together, and it's all real dudes. It's dudes that instead of like saying, oh, I'm going to hide behind the keyboard, or, oh, I'm just going to talk about fixing my life, like they've actually made an investment, skin in the game type way of doing it. So, I mean, and Anthony, by the way, and I know I've said this in a few posts, but you know, just the wherewithal of this guy, that he's been doing it this long. And you know, growing up, I have family that's still in the entertainment industry, and I've been on a couple movie sets growing up, and I've been on a couple TV sets growing up, and Anthony, like, he puts on a production. Like, he's got the cameras, the dude's on the gimbal, he's got the whole sound and editing thing. I mean, he's going for it. Like, he's not doing some cheap half-ass stuff. So I really got to give it up to him. And this whole production is incredible.
One real quick word I'd like to say about Steve, just to piggyback off of what Bobby just said. Listen, I had a budget when I came to Orlando, and I had a budget set aside for Uber, just getting around. I didn't have to spend it. Like, Steve would not let me call an Uber. Like, I take out my phone and about to hit the Uber button, he knocked the phone out of my hand. But all jokes aside, man, having Steve there, just getting to meet him in person, Steve's the real deal. Steve is the same off camera as he is on camera. And Bobby Dino said it best, man. Steve is a flat out good guy, man. He is the kind of guy who has literally given us the shirt off his back. Like, having him there was a tremendous value, man. I cannot say enough about the guy.
Hey, man, I just want to say first is that's what family does, and that's something that y'all will learn about these great men, is that you want to take the shirt off your back and do everything you can, because we're family, you know, and we support each other, and we got a great thing going. But I tell you, Anthony, I call Anthony A1 because motherfucking mind blown. I from the moment you get there, you feel welcome. From the moment, I mean, the security, I mean, you have dogs walking around. You got these big cock diesel Debo type bodyguards like, what's up, motherfucker? I mean, it's like,
hey, that one dude was at least 400 pounds.
God.
Where's your tag, man?
Man, and
Around that guy, man.
From the food, the presentations, the setup, I mean, being whisked away, the photos, it was just, guys, it is, when I say a motherfucking one, it is A1. And Anthony is approachable, just like all these guys. There was no stuck up guys thinking they were better than anybody. It was just mixing and melting and talking to the guys, and it was just, again, guys, I know I sound like an infomercial, but I swear to you motherfuckers, you gotta be there to see that shit. Well, I mean,
that's the problem.
Yeah,
that's the problem I'm having too, is because I feel like people feeling like I'm just infomercial in this thing, and it's like, no, man, this was a way cool event, man. This is like something that's just, I ain't never experienced something like this.
Yeah, if it was fucked up, I'd be like, yo, Anthony, man, this shit's fucked up, man. Fuck you, I'm out. You know what I mean?
Yo, this shit's fucked up. Fuck you.
There's
no room for interpretation there.
But I mean, it was great. The presentations were on point. The guys, it's the power you see when you see these guys on stage, and the passion, the drive, the love that they have for you guys is you just can't see it. You just got to be there. But just real quick, I'm sorry, I'm rambling, but
go ahead, man.
It was just, I'm telling you guys, the food, this sitting back with the guys while they were smoking their pipes, and they were just sharing stories.
Yeah, man. I can give you all tactical soap, man. Everybody get tactical soap, this bitch, you know? Everybody get free pack, 100%.
Listen,
I've been using that, Anthony.
Listen, I got my bars of tactical soap. I got laid that night, guys. No lie.
Yeah, man. Yeah, I appreciate everybody coming on, man. I appreciate the kind words. Fuck yeah. I do my absolute best with it. I put my heart and soul into it. Like, if not 100%, like 1,000%. So I appreciate the kind words and being recognized for what that takes and what it looks like in real life, you know, applied and practicing it.
Straight up.
I'll tell you what, after what I saw in October, I had zero doubts that this latest event was going to kill. I had no doubt whatsoever, because I just had total confidence. I've been to a million of these kind of events, not this type of event, but in my professional life, I've gone to a lot of conferences. I've gone to a lot of seminars. I've gone to a lot of big hotel banquet rooms and all these things set up. And this was right up there with the very best of anything I've ever been to. And so, man, I knew going into the Patriarch Edition, it was going to be perfect. And it was. It was really, everything was like clockwork. Worked perfect.
Okay.
I don't want to be that guy, but I'm going to take a different angle. That's the longest I've gone without sex in a long time. So I'm gonna have to figure some shit out. I can't do another 6 days dry spell.
You
Just sitting there staring at the fucking mirror, ready to like punch the shit out of it.
You said I can't. You talked about like you were doing something. I can't do 6 days, man.
In my speech, man, I'm like, fuck. I am sexually frustrated.
I could tell you had blue balls on because you kept your
You
leg.
don't want to be hunters.
Yeah, 100
Right.
blue balls, man.
Bring the wife again. I don't know what to tell you, man.
No,
Like,
she's coming down next time. This just
I
not gonna work.
got some soap girls I can bring out. I mean, if the wife.
Oh
is
man,
cool
I'll
with
make
it,
sure I
well,
let her know too. That worked last time during Sons of Patriarchy. That worked great.
When Hunter was down last time, his wife was like, "Is the soap girl there? Is the soap girl there?"
Oh man, she was all about it. Is that soap girl there? I was like, yeah, babe. Talking about Dread. What the fuck? She comes running down to Orlando.
Yeah, I'm gonna bring the soap girl to take photos of everybody at the October event. She'll be doing like a model show with everybody with the tactical soap.
Yeah, there you go.
I'm sure no one will be triggered. Nobody will be triggered on the internet. Nobody.
Hashtag triggered. That's what.
Yep.
And
All right, Donovan. Do we have anybody on the lines?
Hell,
we have put out the calls multiple times. The opportunity's been there. Is anybody on the lines?
No, nobody's ever on the line.
Okay, so what? Let's just have it. I know they're watching. I know people are watching.
Yes.
We put it out there. Let's have the discussion. It was not had. All right, so it's done.
I'm at work. I would call in, but I don't feel like it. Yeah,
I don't need to answer to you.
Pussies.
Let's go around. We'll do our final points, unless something pops in the next 5 minutes. But we'll start wrapping this one up. So let's start with Bobby. Bobby, final points you want to pass on to the fathers who attended or the fathers who witnessed what happened. Maybe they didn't attend in Orlando. Some advice for them moving forward on how to reclaim their masculine nature and be the patriarch their family needs them to be. You're muted.
Thank you, sir. I would just recommend that if you're not sure how to lead or how to if you feel that there's a certain element in your life that's missing that you're not able to pass on to your family, learn, find out what it is, talk to somebody. Don't just keep it to yourself, and don't just sit behind a computer or mentally masturbate on Twitter or whatever with all these different sayings that people are doing. Get out there, make sure that you've got something worthwhile to pass on to your son, and just your search and your journey for making yourself better is what's going to make you a better man and create your story to begin with. So I guess my thing would be is don't sit still, don't be stagnant, get up and move, get going. Meet people.
Or get out of your own way and just ask the question. If you don't know what you don't know, start just talking to the men. A lot of us, we all answer questions. If a dad came to you and was like, hey, how do I do more masculine traits? You could talk to him about archery. You could talk to him about fighting. You could talk to him about manly things, speaking, writing, but they just have to ask.
Yeah, correct.
All right.
Okay.
Ivan.
I'm telling Ivan to go.
Okay.
All right, he's up.
So this
Closing
is
points
Ivan
for the men.
phone. You guys hear me?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. So a couple of closing thoughts for you. Let me put this up. There we go. So I mentioned earlier on the broadcast, we were talking a little bit about how the major difference with the 21 convention Patriarch Edition is that men are taking this knowledge and they're taking this skill and this power and this competence, and they're changing things in the world. They're changing things with their families. They're changing things with their future and their trajectory. Ultimately, and I want to leave everybody with this, whether it's the purely self-improvement part of being a man and understanding how game works, how society works, how politics works, how fitness works, and all of those things that make you a man, or whether it's the family, or whether it is the your children, your family line, all of those things, very important. Whether it's internal work you're doing, or whether it's outside work you do as a man, there is one metric that tells you if you're being successful at it, and that is how the world changes around you.
Ah, yes.
Because unless it does, everything is just in here. It's just theory. It's just words, empty feeling. You must change this world, and then you'll know if you're on target or not.
Oh, shit.
The phone falling over there is not an omen. Gentlemen,
The power
that's
of
how
his
it works.
voice.
The real world will give you feedback.
You're not
live
gonna
and
world
die by
over.
that, whether you like it or not.
Fuck yeah.
All right, Tex.
Who's next? Okay, there we go.
Yeah, I'll go. I hope every man that walked away from Patriarch, I hope that he came back and took a critical look at his family and took a critical look at his own role in that family. I know that a lot of those speeches were gut punches to several men in that room. In fact, probably every man in that room at some point got a gut punch and went, man, I am failing in that regard. And even me, Grandpa, my kids are grown and gone. There were some speeches that I heard where I thought, God, I could have done it better. I so could have done it better. It hit me in the gut too. So final thoughts are take the plunge. July in Poland, I know we're shilling here, but the bottom line is you won't be the same if you go to this thing. You won't want to miss another one. I can tell you right now, I have to miss July in Poland for work reasons, and I'm going to be kicking myself in the ass when you guys are over there doing this. But I purposely will try to never miss another one the rest of my life. It's that meaningful to me. So,
damn, fuck yeah,
that's a solid commitment, man.
That was pretty epic. Yeah, holy shit.
But that's it, man. We're gonna continue on, with final pieces. But I do want to say, that is the level of give a shit, that's going on in here, and the level of belief that's in what it is that we're doing. I told you, man. TFA's planted behind you. That's fuck yeah. That's no joke. Tex is talking about, I'm gonna go till I die. I'm gonna ride this bitch till the wheels fall off. This is real shit, and it's not ending. We're talking 5 to 10 year plan. Like this is not, hey, maybe 2020 it's over. No, like we got a long way to go.
The show goes on.
I've been doing this my whole life, man. This is what I love doing. I mean, I've never been in a point in my life where I'm not doing exactly what I want to do. And I think that's in part, and maybe that's a little bit, cyclical, but I love what I'm doing. I love 21. I love Redman Group. I love 21 Studios. I love the 21 Convention. I love the Patriarch Edition. This shit is fucking dope as fuck, exactly like you guys are seeing. And I'm really glad that I have such a hardcore group of guys along for this ride. Ride or fucking die 100%. And let's keep kicking ass, man. This is amazing. Talk about an interesting time to be alive, too. We're doing it in the middle of, the internet's booming. The world is changing. There's political stuff going on. Like, holy fuck. And we're in the middle of this, just doing it for men and for fathers. Fuck yeah.
I've got a few things to say about exactly that, but I'm going to save it for the end. Steve, some final points for these men.
Yeah, I always tell guys out there, it's very important to take a moment every day and look at the graveyard. And the reason I tell you guys to do that is because everybody in there had one thing in common, and that's that they thought they had tomorrow coming to them. And you never know when your day is going to end. And things like this don't come every once in a while. This is something that is really special here, where if you are a young man and you are thinking about creating a family, or you have a family, this is, like Tex said, this is the gut punch. This is a place where you can grow. This is a place where you can learn. This is a place where you can lead. And this is a place where you'll be able to not only teach your sons, but also his son to be able to teach his son onward and onward. And the passion that these guys have and the love that they have for you to just be there to help you fill in those gaps when you feel like the world is against you. You feel like there's a cloud over your head and you feel like there's nowhere you can go. Well, finally, you have a place where you can call home. It's your home away from home. So I just want to say, don't mess up these opportunities to learn from great men, to teach you and give you the tools that you need to go on and pass that through your generation from generation. That's all I want to say on that.
Good stuff, man.
What do you think about the weight of those words? It's easy. People hear shit and they're like, "Oh, that's a cool platitude." No, that was real. Like I've met you, so it's a little different. But people who haven't, they might view this as you're a personality. You're someone who's playing a role. And what you just said, I know you feel that to your soul. When you say those things, you mean this is generational actions. They're going to look back on their great-great-grandfather and remember him. They're going to remember Steve. This is how Williams does this. Where did you learn that? My great, they're going to go all the way up that chain of men. So when you say it, I feel that. And I hope we can get to the point where people understand. And I think we're getting there because we've been so consistent for so long. It's one of those things where if the message changed every year, every other year, but I mean, we're years into this. My first 21 Con was 2017, but the Family Alpha started in 2015. Nothing's changed from there till now. That's almost 4 fucking years. What you've been doing is pretty much your whole life. So these people are going to see these aren't just words. There's a lot of weight behind why you said what you just said.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. I just wanted to say, guys, the only way you can see the real deal is show up and meet us face to face and bite that gold and see if it's real or it's fake. And you'll learn that these guys right here, they've got your best interests at heart. And for those guys that don't believe that, you just got to be careful about those guys, because there are a lot of guys out there that don't want you to learn this information. There are a lot of guys working for the other team that want to keep you at a standstill. So all I'm saying, guys, I love to keep things 100. One thing y'all learn about me, I'll keep that shit goddamn 100 real. I love these guys. These guys care about you, and they want what's best for you, man.
Fuck yeah.
Donovan, what are your parting words on this episode?
Yeah, man, I think that I think it's really cool that, guys like us, get together and talk about this stuff. And I don't think I'm being hyperbolic when I say that the guys you are watching, the guys who are part of 21, the guys who are part of Red Man Group, we're on the ground floor of a generational change, right? And I know that sounds, Grant, no. Nobody else is doing what we're doing offline. Everybody, listen, a lot of people talk shit online. And listen, there are a lot of people who do good things online. But we're the first guys who have made a commitment to take this thing offline and actually put action to words. And I think when all is said and done, I think one of the reasons why we catch so much heat is because we're the de facto Red Pill headquarters. When something happens in #MeToo, when Alyssa Milano talks about a sex strike, when Ayesha Curry talks about the fact that she doesn't get attention from men, even though she's married to Stephen Curry, guys are looking to us for those opinions. Guys are going to come to us. Okay, XYZ happened in the world. Let's tune into the Red Man Group. Let's go to 21 Convention to see what these guys think. We are, and again, this doesn't disparage anything anybody else does, but it's very important, as at least for us panelists, the 21 participants, to understand the gravity of what we are doing. We're it, man. When we're all dead and buried, guys, it's almost like we're the founding fathers of what is going to be the beginning of the resurgence of true masculinity in the U.S. and hopefully the world.
Fuck yeah.
You know what's wild is I never get to make the Red Man groups. You guys have that right when I have baseball. So to be able to get the interaction going, it's like we either do it live or I give you like that one time of the year. So this is our one time of the year. So Donovan, it's been good having you on, man. I enjoy, I also like letting you relax and just be the speaker. You don't have to worry about running the show.
Yeah.
So now you get to just hang out.
Real quick, something that Rolo said a little bit earlier when he was on is I'm the host of the Red Man Group and everything. But one thing that he said makes a lot of sense. When I'm sitting with guys, I've got Bobby to my left, I've got Anthony to my right, I've got all of the panelists. It is far easier to be sort of the ringmaster, kind of the moderator, when you are sitting live with people. And again, it can be quite difficult when we do it online, but doing it live and in living color has its benefits. One of not the least of which is it's just better to keep it's just better to get a hold of things. So thanks to my guys, who were there on the panel with me live, Bobby, Anthony, Hunter, you were on with me. Steve, of course, was on. So I agree with Roll. It's definitely a lot easier to do it when you're actually doing it live.
It's an honor.
I completely agree.
Thank you.
I was totally happy to speak with you guys. I mean, the fact that I was even invited up there, great minds at that table, and people dissecting what's happening. So yeah, it was a privilege. And hey, just real quick, Hunter, I know just one thing I want to say, because everybody's touching on this. People that group up and just talk stuff but don't do anything. Like, there was those types of people in the joint, and those were the types of people that were just fucking followers. They didn't think for themselves. Right. They just did whatever they were told, and those are probably the type of people that got out and went and did more crimes again, and still in there to this day, right?
Yep.
Think for yourself, man. Think for yourself. These people that are talking shit online, that's all they are, is just a bunch of followers that are regurgitating what somebody else is the wind of the day,
right?
The candy of the day. So sorry, just to throw that in is, use your own mind.
So I will point out when Bobby was talking about, going up the stage, so he wasn't supposed to speak and he ended up speaking. And then he also ended up on a Red Man group. And I think there's something to be said to Donovan's point about and people see this, when they see us live, you get to see how men speak with men.
Yes.
And you don't get to see that too often. You don't get to see men sitting in just men's circles and having that discussion and learning how to speak and then listen. And not wait for their turn to speak, but actually listen to what's being said. And then now you show through your body language, I'm ready to present. It's not like a bunch of chicks who are just yelling at each other.
Especially from super diverse backgrounds. You have different faiths, races, religions, countries of origin, ages. You know, some guy, me and AJ Cortez we're up there in Lattimore. We're a lot younger than most guys on the panel. We're not fathers. Other guys were fathers, grandfathers even. So to have all these same guys and some guys were, you know, therapists, you know, like Ken Curry and stuff.
Yeah, he was cool.
I mean, yeah, hell yeah. So it's like the diversity, the real diversity that's super complex of the panelists and the speakers we have at the convention live, and then seeing them interact in real life. It's dope. It's dope as fuck. And it's really rare you'd see that anywhere else in the world. And we get along super well, which is amazing.
Yeah, that's great. I like that we get along. We sort of listen. We disagree on a few things, but in the end, we all know we're on the same squad.
You know, it's wild. We talk about praise in public, you know, correct in private. The times we disagree, we have a lot of those conversations behind closed doors. You know, people just don't see it. So they're like, oh, you're always a yes man. No, you just never seen me say no because I do that man to man, one on one behind closed doors.
Right.
Yeah.
All right, Anthony, your closing points on your, you know, 21 convention, Patriarch Edition.
Yeah, I mean, Hunter, super thanks for helping me, giving me the genesis for that entire idea. It would have not occurred to me for probably many years, if at all. Maybe when I had my own kid or something like that, I would have thought of it, but that's still ways out. So you put that idea in my head, that germ for the idea, that seed, and it worked out super fast, super well. I was very excited in late 2018, like December. I started really thinking about it, I think, maybe late November. And we put it together, and fuck yeah. You brought out the most guys. You had the biggest kind of sub-tribe at the event. The Fraternity of Excellence was there in force.
Oh, yeah, FOE men represent.
Yeah, fuck yeah. And I heard super great things about them from my staff and my guys that work with me. They got to interact a lot with those guys. So I'm very thankful for all the speakers, but especially you for helping me step up, put that on, promote it, get behind it 100%, 100,000%. I'm excited to keep doing it, bring back Tanner next year to do it again. In the meantime, we're going to put all the videos. They're the most beautiful videos we've ever filmed. That was actually the first conference, the Patriarch Edition, we've ever filmed in 4K on the best on the best cameras we've ever rented. Those cameras we used at the convention were used to film like TV shows and shit. Those were like actually, we use good shit anyway, but that, you know, every other year. But this was like the dopest shit we've ever had. Yeah. So top to bottom, I'm excited to get the videos out as fast as possible, much faster than usual. I have my guys on an absolute editing binge till like 3 in the morning and shit now, just cranking this shit out as fast as we can. So I'm excited. In the meantime, like some of the other guys, like Tex mentioned, the upcoming flagship events, the world events, are going to be in Poland. That's Warsaw, Poland, 21 convention, 4-day world event. And that's July 18th to the 21st. And then again, of course, that's our first event in Europe we've done since 2012. We did 3 previously, but that was a while ago. So it's the first Red Pill 21 convention, Red Pill Summit we're doing in Poland and Europe. It's coming up pretty soon, about 2 months from now. Tickets are on sale at the 21convention.org. It's also a link in the video underneath here on YouTube. And then also, of course, our main event of the year, the American event, the Florida event, that's going to be in Orlando, the flagship event. That is October 24th to the 27th, 2019. That will again be in Orlando. That has both events have fucking incredible speaking lineups, right? We always have the most badass shit ever, right? But these events in particular, I think, are blow the fucking roof off, especially the American event. I mean, if in Europe, go to Poland, but in America and Canada and shit, holy fuck. This event's, I think, going to be huge. It's going to be even bigger than 2018. It has the best venue we've ever had ever, even better than Patriarch, which is the best venue to date. Yeah, we just keep going, man. I can't stop. I don't know how to stop. I can't stop winning, and I can't stop going, so I just keep winning, and I keep going. And you guys, you guys are like, fuck yeah, let's keep going. And I'm like, all right, let's keep fucking doing this shit. So that's going to blow the roof off, I think. We have a lot of press, good press, real news coming out to it. We had the Spectator with Mike Cernovich back out, hanging out, a lot of guys like that. Elliot Hulse will be there, Rolo, Jack Donovan. I mean, the whole fucking crew, new guys as well. And we're going to keep the workshops too. We talked about that throughout the show, but I don't know if the guys watching really understand what that means. It means the convention has changed and it's become a lot more interactive. And it was already amazing beforehand last year and, you know, the previous 12 years. But I think the workshops, engaging with the speakers now at all the conventions, is next level. I'm really happy we added those in, and we're going to have a ton of those in Poland and Florida as well this year. And then also 2020, stay tuned for the 22 convention for women. All your girlfriend and wife training needs will be taken care of. You want to shape them up, you send them out, we'll take care of them.
Good shit.
Yep, that's all I got.
All right, then I'm going to close it with this. You see the faces of the men that are on this panel. You see Tactical Soap, who sponsors this channel, putting themselves out there. You see the amount of targeting we're all receiving, yet we keep showing up. There are a lot of men out there right now who are trying to figure out which group's going to win. Where should I ally myself with? Because who's going to come out of this standing up? I'll let you know right now that schools are telling men to sit down, shut up, and color. The entertainment industry is telling men, sit down, shut the fuck up, and color. Go over in the corner. We have other men inside the masculine universe, other men inside the red pill movement, other men telling men who are standing up and trying to create something positive for men to shut the fuck up and go away. They want to break them down. They want to go after personal issues. They want to go after these people's livelihoods. Yet we keep showing up and putting our face on the screen, saying we're standing behind what it is we're saying and what it is we're building. We created the Patriarch Convention. We wrapped that up. We're going to keep on going. Every other Thursday, I'll be doing this show. Red Man Group will continue as it does, and then the Patriarchs will follow because we're building things that are for the men that need it. And we know that fathers need it, so we're creating that. Anthony Johnson has built something that's going to outgrow, outlast, and outlive everything that's going to be thrown this way. It's like spitballs against a fucking battleship. Our lines have been drawn. You see our faces. You can find me. If you wanted to, you could find me and every man on here, and you could attack us. And guess what? You chop our fucking legs down. We're going to fucking keep walking on our fucking nubs. This isn't going to end. It's not going to stop. So I want to leave that last message with those who made it this far, because if you watch the whole thing, obviously you're trying to figure out, where do you fit in? Do you want to fit in with the men who are kicking ass on Twitter, and that's great, and the apex of their life, and the apex of the control they'll ever have in their life is a Twitter thread, a Twitter brigade? Or do you want to go with men who are doing shit in the real world?
There you go.
And building real bonds and forging real networks. Anthony is a professional shipbuilder. He's what brought us all together. It's not a ball washing thing. It's a recognition of accomplishment. Building relationships, partnerships, and friendships. These things that happen in the real world, you can delete me off fucking Twitter, man. I know real men that I can shake hands with in the meat world.
There you go.
This is the end of the Patriarchs. We wrapped it up. Gentlemen, thank you for joining me. Had a great time. I love talking with all of you. I look forward to the next one. And for those who watched and supported, thank you. We're not done.